Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, DirtFish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR Indy car? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys have learned to ride, Amy Houde.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Houde, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, Amy Houde here, and I got to tell you, this is a big week. Lots and lots to talk about. Not only did we have Lucas Oil off-road in action over the weekend, we're going to talk about that, but we got a lot of announcements. Polaris RZR last night dropping their 2017 models. We are going to be talking in depth about the 2017 Polaris models and in that launch. X Games dropping a bombshell last week, moving X Games to Minneapolis. We're going to be talking about that in depth as well. Not only that, but guests on the line today. We got ARCA points leader, winner of 3 straight in the ARCA series. For General Tire, we got Chase Briscoe on the line. We got Ryan Millen on the line. He's going to be calling into the show as well. We're going to be talking about his Rally America Series effort and everything happening with Ryan Millen. We got Joe Duncan with Terracross. He's got one of the sponsors on the line. Man, it is... It's going to be one heck of a show today, and I can't wait to start talking some Polaris RZRs here, in a little bit. It's just an awesome lineup of vehicles Polaris RZR launched last night. But all that and more coming at you here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We'll be back right after this break.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on 4 wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, and man, Houde, last week, pretty much when we got off air, you want to talk about a blockbuster announcement. We all knew it was coming, but X Games obviously been in Austin, Texas for three years. It was time for them to move up and move to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I am so pumped for that. That's about as close as you can get to you.
I know. I am so excited. I can't wait. And you know what? I think it's pretty awesome to have X Game legend, Levi LaValle. For him to be in his hometown, I think is something special as well. Levi's done a lot for Winter X Games, and I'm so excited. I think it's going to be great. And it's only a hop, skip, and a jump and a 9-hour drive away from me. So you better believe that I will be there.
Yeah. Well, and they changed the date to like late July, which I think is awesome. There was so many events on that one weekend in June for the last 3 years. It was like we always talk about it every year. There's like 8 major events that one weekend. Like I think this is just a win-win for X Games. Yeah. Minneapolis, like I was reading. I was reading on it, and I didn't know there was such a BMX and skate scene there in Minneapolis.
Yeah, it's huge.
But
the downtown Minneapolis scene, Jim, is super cool. It's almost a little bit hipster and what they call like the granola heads. They have a huge biking scene, and just the downtown streets in Minneapolis is so beautiful. And it's too bad once they got rid of the arena and there was no more Monster Energy Supercross round in Minneapolis. It was really bummed. Like everyone, minus the fact that it was in the middle of winter and it was extremely cold out. Everyone loved going to the Minneapolis stop just because of how beautiful the city was. So I'm excited that there's something, again, a little bit more central, closer to us Canadians. And it's hard. They do a lot of stuff like, big events, whether it'll be on the West Coast or the East Coast. And we really missed out here in the central prairies, if you will. But no, it'll be a good event for sure. And you spend lots of time in Minnesota, too, so you know how beautiful it is here. Yeah,
that's awesome, especially in the summertime. And I don't know, I'm just looking at it like, and obviously there's the BMX skate scene. Like, people don't realize, though, Minnesota, two industries they don't really think about when they think about Minnesota, but one, because of the lakes and stuff. The water industry, like wakeboarding and that, huge. They've got some of the best wakeboard cable parks in the country in Minnesota. So obviously, Real Wake is online right now for X Games. But
also, what people don't realize is coming from the prairies, we have, and I say this all the time from Winnipeg, but we have that black chocolate cake dirt, and so does Minnesota. And the moto scene actually in Minnesota, South Dakota, Winnipeg, like kind of that straight line down from where I'm from here, Manitoba, but we have some of the nicest tracks in the world. I have to say, Millville ranks in one of the best, sexiest, coolest, most badass tracks I have ever ridden in the world, and a lot of other riders think so. But, Minnesota's like a hidden gem for motorsports and action sports, if you will.
Talking about that, you name Levi LaValle, who's a good friend of ours. You got Tucker Hibbert, he's there. Obviously, Martin Brothers, Ryan Dungey.
Ryan Dungey.
It's I'm just looking at this going like, this is how come it took so long?
I know. But again, it's like, I think, once the the Minneapolis stadium, they're rebuilding a new one, and I think they kind of got lost and forgotten once the Supercross round was out. Like, everybody kind of skips Minneapolis. They really do. They jump right over Minnesota, and there's really nothing in South Dakota or Ohio or whatever. But yeah, I think this will be a good thing. I think you'll bring in a really interesting crowd. Again, you'll get a lot of people from the north here, Minnesota, Saskatchewan, and even Alberta making the drive out for sure, because it's not even too far away. But I'm excited. It'll be really cool. Yeah.
Well, here's a question for you. It seems like regardless of where X Games go, they always try and bring in events that have a little bit of a local flavor. So like Austin, like BMX Dirt wasn't in X Games for a while when it was in LA, right? They moved to Austin, and Austin, because I ride bikes, like I've known forever, like they have some of the best trails in the country, some of the best dirt jumpers in the country. So they brought BMX Dirt back because Austin, literally, you couldn't have X Games in Austin without BMX Dirt. So I'm wondering, now they're moving to Minnesota. What's the local flavor there? I mean, are we going to see maybe them blow some snow for Summer X and see some freestyle snowmobile or something?
What I was thinking. It's really different, like Summer X Games to Winter X Games. I don't know if they will dabble in a little bit of that, only because, you got to save the snow for winter. Or what else you got in Winter X Games,
But they did it before with snowboarding way back when. They had like best trick snowboarding, like Big Air, and they blew snow for that. So it could happen.
Well, we got to talk to Joe Duncan. I know he always is involved with anything crazy X Games related, but I would love to see, obviously, something moto. Whatever it may be, if they bring back Enduro Cross, like this would be such a great place to do it, really. Like the mecca of Minnesota. Well, for me, personally, my childhood memories are me driving down every weekend with my dad to Minnesota, all these like crevices and riding dirt bikes. So I think, the two-wheel community, there's a huge culture here in Minnesota, and I would love to see something moto related in X Games again. Bring back Enduro Cross. That's what I have to say.
I'm going to say let's put Terracross in X Games, and then we're all going to be happy, right? And then you get all these athletes. I mean, you get Feist, you get LaValle, you're going to get Renner, you're going to get Twitch. Like, I don't know. It's a win-win. Plus, Polaris headquarters is in Minnesota, so I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good one. I never even thought of that. No, definitely, hopefully Polaris will have a little bit of flavor mixed up there in X Games, and I would think Terracross would be cool. That'd be rad. But yeah. I don't know. I'm just excited to go. Like it's been a long time. I never really been to X Games since LA back in 2011 or 13 or something. Like it was years ago. So I'm stoked. I can't wait.
Yeah, I always made a promise to myself. Haven't been to an X Games yet, seriously, because I said
really?
I said there was only two ways I was going. If I was going as an athlete or going as an on-air talent, and I haven't gone as either yet. But I don't know. I may, if I don't get a call for Minneapolis X Games, I may still have to go just because, Minnesota's my home away from home. So it's I don't know. I may just have to go. I don't know if I can hold out on this one.
Yeah, it's a cool event. Like again, it's been a while since I've been, but I had the opportunity to go to LAX Games. It was such a big deal. In downtown Los Angeles, that's when Moto was there and Sarah Price was racing, and she finished third. I had a broken shoulder, so I was sidelined and couldn't do anything but watch and be a spectator, but it was so much fun. I had a blast. There's so much going on, you could just get lost walking around forever. There's like a different event or show going on all the time, and it was so cool. And I actually had the opportunity to go to Rob Deerdeck's and go to the Fantasy Factory for the after party, which was awesome. It was so cool. But, I had a blast. Now it would be probably a little bit different because back then I was just, a super fan. And now a lot of the athletes are my friends. And it'd be a whole different experience being able to actually go and cheer on a lot of people that I know in the different sports. So, yeah, I'm going to be there.
Isn't that weird how this works? Mm-hmm. Like some of these guys, it's funny, and Dave Mira, we all know he was just a dear, dear friend of mine. But like Dave, I grew up with his posters on the wall. I had a signature bike, when I was younger. Like I had his shoes, I had everything. And then Dave becomes one of my best friends, and it was so surreal. And like at one point, I had his action figure, and it was in a box, and I was moving some crap. I hadn't seen the thing in like 20 years, and I pulled it out of the box, and I sent him a text with a picture of his action figure, and he started laughing. And I'm like, seriously, Dave, will you sign this for me next time I see you? And he goes, absolutely, dude. He's like, I haven't seen one of those in like 20 years. But isn't it funny how these guys are like, our childhood heroes, and now literally they're just some of our best friends. It's just so weird how that works.
Well, it's funny, like, there's obviously a quote that I grew up thinking forever, and I'm the same way. There's a lot of girls who I grew up with, and when I was a little girl, had their signature and their poster on my wall. And the infamous quote is, work so hard that your idols become your rivals. And that's the cool thing about sports is that, without those people to look up to and work towards, that's kind of the circle of this industry is, you got to start somewhere, and you got to usually start where those people that you look up to eventually just work. And I mean, then you're all competing against each other, being friends, having beers after. It's cool. And that's the cool thing about sports is, we're just such a small family, but you gotta break into there somehow.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got to take a short commercial break. We come back, Amy and I, we're going to be talking 2017 Polaris RZR models. All that and more coming up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, your resident talking heads every week. Man, yesterday it was a big day for all of us in the Polaris RZR family. Man, Polaris dropping their 2017 lineup, and I know it's not the full lineup. We still have some turbos yet to be released, but Polaris dropping their lineup, and for me, this is like a kid before Christmas, Amy. Like seriously, I mean, Polaris is really secretive about it, and then they have their big annual dealer show this year. It's in Nashville. I got a lot of friends that are actually back there. I don't know. I need to tell Polaris we need to be there and do like live radio from the convention where they debut these. What do you think?
Oh, that'd be super cool. That'd be awesome.
But yeah, no, it's
live
like
radio always turns out to be the best. You let's just think of a Fremont Street in Las Vegas.
Oh gosh,
live radio, we get the best of the best.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun, but yeah, like I don't know. Is there anything like every year? Like it's like I mean, I get giddy. Like everybody in the off-road industry, it's like what's Polaris going to launch this year? And and I would say I'm kind of in the know, and I still don't know generally until the lineup launches. Maybe a day before I get an inkling of what's going to happen. But seriously, Polaris is really good about keeping this secret. But is there anything like with you in the moto industry? Like every year you're just so dang excited. I guess it'd be like A1, right? Supercross A1.
Oh my goodness, A1 it's like you said, the kids. It's like A1 is like a week after Christmas, and your presents are still under the tree, and you're in the doghouse, and you're not allowed to open them. And all the other kids have opened their presents already, and you can't. Like it's just you know all these people, and you watch social media, and some are out there, some are kind of keeping everything closeted. You can only hope that your top three even finish within the top five. It's just A1 is anybody's game, and it's really cool to see what the teams and athletes have, what they've worked towards all winter. And it's kind of the same with all the dealer lineups, and what bikes are going through the biggest changes, and what brands are making the biggest advances and stuff. It's like Yamaha going to aluminum frame. That, and remember how big of a deal that was, and Honda, the 250 with the dual exhaust. Like it's just every year. And then you get disappointed when one brand doesn't change or nothing happens. Change is good. I love to see evolution in motorsports, and Polaris has been such a front runner, of the UTV world with that evolution, and just every year going bigger and better. And yeah, this year alone, I'm stoked to see all their turbos. If there's any major changes in that lineup. Yeah,
well, and that's the thing, Polaris. From way back, it's, they've redefined UTV. They had the first ever sport side-by-side. It was, the 800. And then after the 800, literally like a year later, came the 900. And then there was the four-seaters. Or maybe the four-seat came before the 900. I don't know. And then they went to the XP 1000, which is what everybody recognizes now, And then it was, okay, then they brought a four-seater into that. And then it's like, oh, how do we top that? Well, last year, we're going to add 50 more. We're going to add 50 more horsepower. We're going to put a turbo in it. And then everybody's like, wow, what are we going to do next? Well, we got a turbo. We got to make a four-seat turbo. And then it's progressively like the shocks have got better. Oh, well, the Walker Evans shocks are good, but we're going to throw these Fox shocks on there. And it's like, every year it's like Polaris has never given any other manufacturer a chance to catch up. A lot of companies.
But that's how you have to do it.
Yeah, a lot of companies come out with a good product, and and it's like, oh, this thing's selling. Well, we'll just chill out for a couple of years, and and milk this. And Polaris like, no, we're gonna lead. And it's gas on, game on every year. They're like mad scientists there in Minnesota, dreaming up these ideas for us fun havers to just go out and shred.
Yeah, exactly, and it's kind of like the iPhone. Everybody gets mad because they come out with a new iPhone, and you don't even have the last new one, and blah, 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 blah. But, it's completely different in motorsports, because if you don't lead the way, you fall behind. There's these front runners who are the best of the best, and they're known in the industry as, the industry leaders. And I would say that would be, for bikes, Yamaha, obviously. Look at, their bikes are not only the fastest, but they're, the factory Yamaha team is, all three of them are on the podium every single weekend in 250 class. It just, goes to show. And it's the same thing with Polaris. What brand of RZRs do we drive in the only UTV, mainstream series of Terracross is a Polaris RZR. They chose a RZR because, it's the industry leader. It's the best of the best. And, you have to constantly evolve, or people get bored and they go on to something new. Motorsports is such a niche where, it's almost like a luxury niche where you got a little extra cash. They're still affordable, but it's when you got the cash and you want to go play and have the best of the best, you want the best out there. You don't want what somebody else has, and it's, only the 800 or something. You want the fastest, sexiest thing out there.
Yeah.
And you have to constantly evolve, or you fall behind. That's what it is. It's the same in like boats or quads or dirt bikes or trucks even too. Like look at your Subaru. I mean, you have to drive the best of the best too.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, so they've launched some of their vehicles. We'll talk a little bit about those here quick, but I want to one of the biggest, the biggest announcements of this show last night was this new system called Ride Command that they're putting into these RZRs. So Ride Command, basically, it's you don't really see it from the outside of the car, but it's the experience of driving the vehicle. So basically, this Ride Command puts a 7-inch display inside the RZR, and it connects. It connects via Bluetooth with your phone, and so you can plan and share your ride via social media. It tracks your friends' locations while you're riding. So if you're out in the dune miles apart,
awesome.
You can always see where your friends are. And then not only your mobile phones, but it can control your GoPro through this flat screen in the RZR, and it can sync like headsets so you can talk to each other in the car and everything. To me, this is like a game changer. How many vehicles can you actually control your GoPro through a flat screen in the dash?
That's awesome. And it's not only like cool factor. I mean, if you think about it, that's like a whole step above safety factor too. I mean, if you're, in the dunes in Glamis or something, in trails, my biggest fear always is getting lost. I hate getting lost. I hate losing my friends. I get anxiety. I freak out. What a great way of going about this the right way. That's, not only safe but cool and very functional. I think that's awesome, and that's where we see all these changes happening is not necessarily in the body or the motors or whatever. It's the technology that these new the new generation machines are coming out with. The technology just gets crazier and crazier, and you can't even think of half this stuff. That's really cool. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and then there's a string of accessories. I mean, they've got new one-piece cage directly from the OEM. I know a lot of people, as soon as they get their RZRs, they replace the cage with something a little bit stronger. Not that the factory ones are bad, just something a little stronger. They've got an option from the factory for that. They've got a couple limited editions that are matte gold. Looks just super, super sick. And that's just talking the RZR lineup. They got the Ace lineup, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Ace lineup, but it's basically like the single seat, center seat version. It's like a smaller, and they just dropped a 900. Yeah, they just dropped a 900 Ace. So I don't know. I'm excited, super, super excited over this lineup, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. We still got the turbo announcements to come. So
I'll take one of each, please.
Yeah, right.
All right, cool. One of each.
Yeah, you got enough. You got enough acreage there in Winnipeg for all these.
Well, I got a big shop, and I got a spare room in my house to put the Ace.
I was gonna say you do have a big shop, man. You got the dream garage.
I do.
Yeah, I'm
called the Babe Cave.
Yeah, but I thought my loft was in there, so it can't be the Babe Cave if I've got my own loft in your garage.
Well, I mean that all comes down to your election pretty soon, so.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness, yeah, we don't even need to go there. Things are getting a little crazy here in the States, but yeah, for anybody that's looking for all the details on the Polaris RZR, obviously you can go to Polaris RZR's website. I know our friends Joey D at UTV Underground. They're actually back at the show right now. They've been posting all kinds of social media, but they've also got UTVUnderground.com. They've got full features on all the lineups, including the Ranger and the General models. So definitely, it's all out there now, and and we'll keep you updated when we get those turbo announcements. But lots of good stuff coming out of the Polaris RZR dealer show. And those of you, that are fortunate enough to be back there, you're not tuned in today. I can guarantee you that. But man, I am a bit jealous. But I got to tell you, Houde, I'm looking at these, going, man, the cool thing is we're going to get to wheel these 2017s in Terracross here in about 2 months.
I know. I can't freaking wait. I'm so excited. You have no idea. But another cool thing that I like about Polaris is they have, their lineup is so big and diverse. They have a little bit of everything for every type of driver or rider, I mean, there's so many farmers out here who have the Ranger. And I mean, obviously for me, who want to drive the absolute crap out of these, I know the 1000s or the turbos, but then they have the little Ace, which I think is perfect for like kids or, the small trail rider here. We don't have big trails here in Winnipeg. We have small little kind of back trails, but the best thing about Polaris is they're so diverse and they have a little bit of everything for any level or type of rider or whatever experience that they're looking for. And I think that is the smartest thing that they can do.
Yeah, well, and I know even like my daughter, they've got the little RZR 170 for kids, and she's chomping at the bit, like, Dad, give me a 170, get me a 170. And it's, like you said, I mean, top to bottom, it doesn't matter if you're 5 years old or 85 years old, they literally have a model for you, and it's like a progression. I mean, it's full-blown stepping stone. You can go from the, 170, and then they've got like a 570, and then, you know what I mean, and it just keeps progressively going up. So it's really cool. You can start them out at the bottom and work their way into things. So definitely good stuff. So, all right, we got to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris RZR. We come back, we have ARCA points leader, winner of 3 straight, young gun, and I got to tell you, he's got one heck of a story how he's got to where he's at today. But we got going out of the box a bit today on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. But we got ARCA driver Chase Brisco calling in. Definitely looking forward to. Yeah, I definitely looking forward to this. I mean, this story is going to be good. I can't wait to dive into things with Chase. All brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. All that and more on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Back after this. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound of the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim, Beaver, Amy Houde here, and we'd like to kick off our next segment with courtesy of our good friends at General Tire and the all-new General Tire X3 with Chase Brisco. And it looks like we got Chase just calling into the show. How's everything going, Chase?
I'm not too bad. How are you doing?
Doing well, my friend. Doing well. First off, buddy, I got to congratulate you, man. Winner of 3 straight in the ARCA series. That's no easy task. That's pretty solid work.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Definitely just fortunate, to be in good equipment. That's, really when it comes down to, you got to be in equipment capable of doing it. And Cunningham honestly brings that every weekend. So it's definitely a blessing, to be with a great team. And just can't thank all them guys enough for giving me the opportunity to even be behind the wheel for them.
Yeah. Well, and we'll talk about ARCA here in a second, but I want to go back to your story. I was kind of reading up on you, getting ready for this interview, and, I've been familiar with you, especially this year, General Tire. We've talked a lot about ARCA and their involvement in ARCA series and drivers, that we should watch out for, and we've been emailing back and forth internally for a couple of weeks, like, hey, we need to get Chase on air. But your beginnings of your career, man, I mean, you come from a family legacy of racers, but, you got your start. I mean, you're one of the, I guess at this point in time, the youngest driver ever to win a 410 sprint car race, but you haven't had it easy. I mean, it's not like, a lot of these drivers where they've got unlimited budget. Reading up, I got to give you credit, man. You've grinded to where you're at.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's definitely been a long road. Like you said, my family's owned sprint cars since 1976 and had a lot of the legends, in sprint cars drive for us. And my dad ran 22 years, and I kind of got behind the wheel when I was 13. And, it was always on a limited schedule. And the past couple of years, maybe there's a couple of years I only got to race maybe 5 or 6 times. But I got an opportunity to go down to North Carolina a couple of years ago and moved down there and just was knocking on doors. Nothing was really happening, and honestly was ready to move back to Indiana. And I got a call from Cunningham Motorsports to come down, and I was interested to do a test. And I went down there, and before I walked out the door, just, offered them. I told them I don't know anything about stock cars, but I'm more willing, to just volunteer my time and try to learn and help the best I can. I got to the higher ups of the team, and they really liked that. So they gave me an opportunity behind the wheel for a race, and I honestly felt like I blew my one and only shot, but fortunate enough, blessed enough, they gave me another opportunity and decided to let me run full-time for this season. So definitely been a long road, but I just can't thank them guys enough. Definitely appreciative of the opportunity they've given me.
Yeah, well, and to me, that's that says a lot about you. I mean, a lot of drivers. I mean, you're there, and Amy and I have talked about this because we both race, and I know how it is to fight for budget and just fight for everything you've got, because there's very few guys that are out there that that just anywhere they walk in, they've got sponsors backing them and things like that. But for you to go down there, be knocking on doors, and then and then at one point just basically telling them, hey, look, I'm in this, I'll volunteer my time to help out. I just want to be involved with a race team. I mean, it says a lot about you. I mean, there's not a lot of people that would do that. It's to me, that's tip of the cap to you, because a lot of drivers, there's more arrogance there. I'm just not going to volunteer my time.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's definitely, like you said, kind of it's tough at times, especially when you're taking other guys' seats out or putting other guys' seats in the race car for them to go run, and you always want that opportunity, but. I think this build character makes you appreciate it even more when you do get that opportunity. You start running good. So it's definitely
it makes you work
the road
harder.
I have to do, but definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. What's that, Amy?
I feel, something like that will make you work even harder. Those people who have everything handed to them on a pedestal, they don't have to work for their ride. They don't have anything to prove. I mean, they kind of got like a cushiony backup plan, parents have money, whatever. I feel like when you have to work for it that much harder, it honestly makes you a better driver because you just stay hungry day in and day out.
Yeah, I mean, I think every driver obviously has a desire to win, but like you're saying, when you work for it, it gives you that little extra motivation. It honestly adds a little pressure, I think. It makes you want to go out there and run a little harder and run a little faster. There's a little more on the line as far as your job goes. So I wouldn't have it any other way, though. I think that's definitely the way to do it, the proper way to do it. So I'm glad that's kind of how my past kind of went.
Yeah. Well, and and that being said, I mean, obviously you get that test. I believe it was last year, correct? You got that test to kind of throw you in the car, and things went well. And then tell us how this whole thing came, because you got the full ride for this year.
Yeah, so I tested last year at Nashville, and I guess I showed enough at Nashville that they wanted to give me an opportunity in a race. And I ran last year at Indianapolis with my first race, and honestly, like I said, felt like I kind of blew my one shot. I think I ran 10th and kind of burned the brakes up with like 75 laps to go. And I was fortunate enough once again to get another opportunity at Salem last year, and we ran 5th there. And then this off season, I went and met with the owner of the team, who's Briggs Cunningham, and he just sat down and asked me, what do you want to do next season? And I said, well, I'd love to go and get you a championship, but, even if you don't want to do that, it's 5 races, 10, 1, even if you don't run me at all, I just appreciate everything you've done for me this past season. And he called me the next day and said, well, let's just run the full deal. So definitely he's the largest supporter I've ever had. He's like another dad to me. So it's definitely a great relationship with Briggs. And just like I've said it a million times, just can't thank him enough for taking an opportunity and just a chance on me.
Yeah, is that one of those deals after you get that call, or you have him come up and do it as soon as nobody's looking? You're sitting there doing a little dance.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely wasn't expecting that phone call the next day. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So that being said, man, I got to say we got to fast forward to 2016. So here you are. You got a full ride this year, and it's funny because when General Tire and I first started pinging emails back and forth on you, it was like, oh, he's running for Rookie of the Year. He's taking some top 10s, and I think a top 5. And then as this deal progressed, the past 3 rounds, it's like, oh, Chase got a win. We should really get him on air. He got 2 wins. What's the problem here? How come he's not on air? There was 3 wins. It's like, you have to get him this week. I mean, things have literally, caught on fire for you, man.
Yeah, we've been really good all year long. Actually, I think every single racetrack we've gone to this year, with the exception of the road course, we've been the fastest car in practice or set on the pole, and just had unfortunate circumstances at the end of the race that would kind of hinder us from winning. So, we just couldn't execute really in these last 3 races. We've really been able to execute on pit road and just put a full race together. And when we do that, the results obviously show that we've been up front and winning. So we just got to keep continuing to do that. Go into Pocono, for example, this weekend, and just have to execute on pit road. That's kind of what cost us a chance to win last time we were there. So we can keep doing that. I think we'll be hard to beat, that's for sure. Yeah,
well, and one thing that's cool about ARCA, obviously you talk about Pocono, and that's got its own diverse set of challenges there. But ARCA, I like it. You've got Pocono, you've got, I know road course thrown in, you've got, it's a good mix of different types of tracks. I mean, it doesn't cater to one type driver. You've really got to bring your whole skill set.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing that's really cool about the ARCA series is there's such a diversity in the tracks. We even have 2 dirt tracks, which I'm looking forward to. We have short tracks. We run Daytona, Talladega, the road course. You get a lot of mixture of tracks. So for a guy like myself that doesn't really have any seat time or experience in a stock car, can kind of get a little bit of everything behind the wheel. And it's a place where, you can still make a couple mistakes and still get good finishes. It's just because there's other guys out there learning at the same time. So it gives you a really good, background, I think, as far as moving up the ladder. You get some experience on these bigger tracks. So I think it's definitely a great series. And like you said, the diversity definitely makes it one of the best series, I think, going.
Yeah, well, and how has the sprint car background, helped you? Obviously, and I'll be the first to tell you, I'm an off-road guy, but I see sprint car drivers, and it generally seems like sprint car drivers, they can pretty much learn how to drive just about anything. I was, driving 410 sprints and transferring over into, the ARCA series. How has that benefited you?
It's definitely got its pros and cons. The pros of it, I think, a non-wing cars the hardest thing in the world to drive. It's just so hard to tame, and they're just so wild and erratic. So I think that's definitely a pro of it. There's just so much power and there's so little weight. But the cons is they're racing 25 laps, and you don't really have to save your stuff. You're just 100% every single lap, and it pays to overdrive at times. Where once you get the stock car 200 laps, you got to really save your tires. So there's definitely pros and cons, but I think definitely sprint cars, as far as developing a driver, is definitely the best teaching tool without a doubt.
Yeah. So you're sitting here, and you're your current points leader, coming off a few victories. Obviously, at this point in time, you got the championships in your sight. What's it gonna take down the stretch here to lock things up?
We just gotta be patient and not try to force anything. I think it's the main thing. Like you said, it's kind of our championship to lose right now with the lead that we have. So, that's time. to go out there and try to get wins. Pocono, for example, is probably going to come down to fuel strategy, and we might play a little safer than other guys do. It's battle.
What's that? You're breaking up a bit there,
You're breaking up a little bit there.
Yeah. You there, Chase? You there, Chase? I think we lost him. Yeah, he's calling right back in. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you there, Chase? I think we lost you for a second, buddy.
Yeah, I lost you.
Yeah. Well, I want to. What's that?
Going back on what you're saying about the championship, though, it's definitely ours to lose right now. We just have to keep executing like we've been doing all year long. And I feel like, it's really ours to lose, like I was saying. So if we just keep executing, we should be good.
Awesome. Well, it's been fun watching you, and good luck down the stretch. I know we'll definitely be pulling for you, and hopefully you can keep this streak alive. And here in a few weeks, we can get you back on and talk about a championship.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Chase. Appreciate it, my friend. All right, that was Chase Briscoe. Got to give a big shout out to him. 3 straight. Running, 3 straight. He's currently leading Rookie of the Year, leading the points championship, and all doing it on General Tire. So big shout out to our friends at General Tire. This is their first year in the ARCA series. Kind of they're stepping out of the box a little bit. They're known as as an off-road brand, and then they've got their Continental brand that's kind of a performance road racing tire. But General Tire sponsoring the ARCA series this year is the official tire. Kind of stepping out of the box a bit, and I don't know, give General Tire credit. Trying to expand the brand and definitely doing good things. Chase Briscoe doing it on General Tires, and man,
winning.
Yeah, and winning. I just love guys like that, Amy. He's right there. We talk about this all the time.
People who get an opportunity and roll with it, who plug away, ask, who put their foot in the door and every door or crawl through windows if they have to, and then they actually do something with it. And I feel like that is a win that's so much more deserved and earned and appreciated. And it's and a win like that will take you a lot farther than when you get everything handed to you, for sure. Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, if you're getting everything handed to you, props to you because you are a select company. But no, a guy like Chase, he went to this team. He didn't even have a drive, and he was there in Charlotte, moved there. And he's knocking on doors, nothing's happening, and he finally looked at him and said, "Hey, look, I'll volunteer. Do you need somebody to help in the shop, to help at the track? Look, I'll volunteer. I just want to be with a race team." And like he said, he's like,
so cute.
And like he said, it kind of sucks putting in people's chairs and working on other people's race cars, but he's like, at the end of the day, he's like, when an opportunity opened, he's like, who was sitting there? I was volunteering and I was sitting there and they knew I could drive a race car. They threw me in there and he ran with it, but I had a ton of respect for him to be able to do that, and put that together. And, and look, like we've always said, sometimes you got to take one step back to take 2 steps forward. And Chase Briscoe, proof is in the pudding right there. Killing it in the ARCA series, winner of 3 straight, leading Rookie of the Year, leading the points. I don't know what more we can say other than the kid is on fire, man. Looking forward to seeing, the way this season shapes up.
Yeah, definitely. He's going in there with a lot of confidence after these last 3 wins, and I think he'll just keep the ball rolling. Yeah, for sure. All right, we're going to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We come back. We got a little bit of DirtFish Rally Report coming at you. All that and more still to come on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Hey, call
calling all you river area locals and seniors. Get to Blue Water Resort for fun slot tournaments. Play for a chance to win $500 for first place. Plus, each participant will also receive $10 in free slot play. 55 years or older seniors slot tournaments are Tuesdays from 1 to 4 p.m. And lucky locals, your slot tournaments are every Friday night from 5 to 9 p.m. For more information, visit the club.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
No need to dress up. Wear your tank tops and flip-flops. Just get to Blue Water Resort and Casino every Wednesday from 4 to 8 and again Sundays from 2 to 6 for a chance to win cash prizes. Club members play for a chance to win their share of $1,700 cash giveaway every Wednesday and Sunday. It's tank tops and flip-flops in July. Plus, the new members receive $10 in free slot play. Plus, 2 free spins on the 100 or nothing promotional slot machine and so much more.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here. Getting ready to kick off a DirtFish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. And man, been a fun show so far, and always looking for forward to this DirtFish Rally Report. So we got WRC coming at you from Finland, one of the big ones here this coming weekend. Also got Red Bull Global Rallycross going to be in action in Washington D.C., the nation's capital. Looking forward to that, and man, that's always a fun event. If you're in on the East Coast or in the D.C. area, definitely want to make your way out and check that out. Always it seems like, it's like a wild card, whoever's going to win that. You just never know. But our friends at DirtFish Rally School, they'll be back in action with Connor Martell there at Washington, D.C. And I will be up at DirtFish Rally School here in about 2 weeks doing a little training. And we'll be airing a special edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show here in 2 weeks, DirtFish edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. So definitely looking forward to that as well. But Red Bull Global Rallycross finally announcing a fantasy GRC game. I know we've all been wanting it for a long time, like years now, but my buddy Chris Leone there at Red Bull Global Rallycross, he has put together the first ever fantasy Red Bull Global Rallycross, official Red Bull Global Rallycross game. So if you want to play fantasy GRC, you can skip over I know they've got it posted to Twitter, I believe Instagram, maybe Facebook. It's got all the details there. But go to our friends at Red Bull Global Rallycross, get in on it. I know I'm going to be playing Fantasy GRC. Hopefully you are too. Maybe we can talk about it next week and see who came out on top. But definitely skip over there. And then also want to make mention that our friends at Subaru, our partners at Subaru Launch Control has been off the hook this season. We got a couple episodes down. If you're not watching Subaru Launch Control, what is the matter with you? You need to be over there on Subaru's social media channels. You find that link, click over to their YouTube page, watch Subaru Launch Control, some of the best storytelling, award-winning storytelling in motorsports right there. Weekly series from now and through, this fall, so definitely get in on that. But that has been your DirtFish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at DirtFish Rally School. Find out more information on the web at www.dirtfish.com. We'll be back after this short commercial break.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, and we're getting ready to skip forward to some Lucas Oil off-road racing results, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. And don't forget, check out that brand new General Tire X3. It's going to be arriving in at your local tire stores this fall, so I'm looking forward to that tire. Man, it's good looking, and that thing hooks up. But, yeah, General Tire X3 going to be available this fall. And, Lucas Oil, the night race, Glen Helen, the fun one. Everybody loves this event. Our good friend Ryan Beat taking home the victory. Jeremy Twitch Stenberg and Ronnie Anderson 1, 2, and 3. 2 of the 3 are Polaris athletes. Kind of cool there, but Twitch finding his way to the podium. Ronnie Anderson, first ever podium, so a big shout out to Ronnie Anderson. I know I need to reach out to him, see if we can get him on the show at some point. And then that was round 9 in Pro Light. Round 10, Brandon Arthur, Ryan Beat, Jarrett Brooks, your 1, 2, and 3, and Brian Beat 2 podiums. Solid effort for Beat. Congrats goes out to him. Looking at Pro Buggy. Pro Buggy results, it was Darren Hardesty Jr. taking the win in round number 9. Round number 10, it was Keaton Swanee taking the win there, or Keaton Swain. Then looking at Pro 2, and Pro 2 and Pro 4, man, it was kind of a crazy weekend. But Rob Mack taking the win, Brian Deegan, Doug Mittag, your 1, 2, and 3, and that was in round number 9. And then looking at round number 10, it was Rob Mack again, Mine Spicarelli, and Doug Mittag with your 1, 2, and 3. So Rob Mack with the full-on sweep of Pro 2. We got to feel good for the legend. I don't know what the heck his total victories are, but we got to be we had 200 a while back. We got to be getting close to 250 now. Just kind of crazy. But Kyle LeDuc taking the win in Pro 4, and Carl Renezetter, Doug Fortin 1 through 3. Doug Fortin also on General Tires, so got to give a shout out to him. And then round number 10, it was Kyle LeDuc once again, Carl Renezetter, Bryce Menzies, your 1, 2, and 3, coming at you from Glen Helen. So, I got to tell you, Lucas Oil Off-Road Series, Kyle LeDuc, he is seems like he is on fire lately. We'll see if he can keep it up. But those are your Lucas Oil results, brought to you by General Tire. We'll be back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. After this break, we've got Joe Duncan on the line, one of his sponsors, and Amy Houde and I don't know, lots more to come in hour number 2, that's for sure.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line, our good friend in our Terracross segment here, Joe Duncan. Also with Joe, we got Corey Ellis on the line. And I got to tell you, Corey Ellis with GBC Tires. And I got to tell you, Corey, when was the last time we saw each other? Maybe Charlotte?
Yeah, I think it was Charlotte when we were out there having some fun in the rain.
Yeah, Joe and I have talked about it. Amy missed out on that one. But out of all the events last year, I think that was the one everybody had the most fun, and it wasn't even a full Terracross. It was just a Terracross experience. We had so darn much fun in the rain and the mud there. It was just kind of crazy. You were actually behind the wheel. Didn't you race in one of the racers at that one?
Yeah, I showed up and wasn't even planning on racing, and Joe said, jump in that thing, and next thing I knew, I was out there driving that, and I don't think I've smiled that much in a long time.
Yeah, I think we all had mud in our teeth and everything else. Like I know at one point my shoes, I brought one pair of shoes. They were so bad I had to go to, there was like a Nike outlet. I went and bought a pair of shoes before I went to the airport because I'm like, there's no way they're going to let me wear these shoes onto the airplane.
Yeah, that's what I didn't have a driving suit or anything. And Joe's like, "Oh, it's raining. Don't worry about having a driving suit. You're not going to catch on fire." And I was out there, and I had brought one sweatshirt, and I only brought shorts, and I had a garbage can or a garbage trash bag kilt on, pretty much to keep my hands clean.
Oh, Joe Duncan, man, the things you get people to do.
Well, I like people to have fun. That's what we do.
Yeah,
put smiles on people's faces.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely it. I don't know many people who, especially at that Charlotte event, who didn't have a smile on their face. We all had a good time. But that being said, I know, Corey, we got you on air for a reason. Joe, bring us into the loop, my friend. I know what's going on, but tell our radio listeners what's happening.
Well, as of today, we have to release the GBC and Greenball Tire. The Mongrel is back on board with Terracross. Corey and I have known each other a very long time and have done a lot of things together. And when we started Terracross, Corey's like, "Hey, let's see if we can do something together with the GVC tires." And you know, our first year we were running stock tires and we were having all kinds of problems. And once Corey and the gang came on board, and it kind of eliminated our tire problems, so we could focus on the racing and not not put our mechanics through hell every lap, every race of trying to replace the tire, because as you know, we put these Polaris RZRs through a hell of a beating out there on a Terracross course, and those tires and that ground traction, that's it's really key to what we do. And having the GBC mongrels on there and being able to last through a Terracross race makes the racing that much more exciting and makes it that much more competitive, especially that we're a spec series and everybody in the same class runs the same equipment. So when you get out there on that track, everybody's in the class is running that GBC mongrel, and they're in the same boat as the guy next to them. And knowing that their tires are going to last, they don't have to worry about that as one of their, potential problems in the race. So, Corey was one of the first ones on board with Terracross when we started this thing, and just love having those guys on board. Him and Randy have been great to us and support us on and off the track, and outside of that, friends with Corey and love having him come to the event. And throwing him in the mud race out in Charlotte was just a bonus to everything we've done together.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely a fun event. I got to tell you, Joe, obviously we got to talk real quick. Amy and I talked about it earlier at length, but Polaris RZR, I know they're in Tennessee. They've got the big dealer show dropping all these new models, and I'm looking at all these 2017s. We're going to get to wheel these 2017s in Terracross this year, right?
Yeah, we are. It's going to be pretty awesome. That's what we've been waiting for, and unfortunately, when they do their launch, it comes right up when Terracross starts. Our first year, actually, we didn't even get to see or even know what the machines were, 2 weeks before our first race, and we didn't even get the machines till like 7 or 8 days before the first race, and we're scrambling. And I know Corey with the GBC tires and Walker Evans with their rims, we did a mad rush. And in, what was it, Corey, 24 hours, we had tires loaded at your place. The U-Haul truck picked them up at Walker Evans rims, and then drove straight through with 2 drivers. I think they showed up at ERX at 1 o'clock in the morning, and a bunch of guys were up partying, which was good because they all jumped in and helped out, and they assembled all the tires and wheels so we could race on them the next day. And by 5:45 or 5:30 in the morning, I get this text of an entire shop full of Walker Evans rims and GBC tires. And I'm like, how did all those get done? We were supposed to do that when we got in at 7 o'clock in the morning. And it was great to see all the dads and the families and the racers that were staying out there just jumped in and helped out.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Corey, I mean, give us a lowdown on GBC tires. Obviously, you guys have been around for a while. I mean, I can tell you, my experience with them in Terracross. I mean, there's one thing I'll say about the series: nobody gets flats, and with the stuff we go through, it's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, Greenball, the parent company, we've been in business with specialty tires for about 40 years now. And the GBC line came about in 1995, so we're just not one of these new guys that saw the industry and jumped up and started making stuff. We've been around a long time building tires for UTVs, side by sides, ATVs, all this stuff. We've been around for a while, doing this. We were one of the first companies to come out with an 8-ply rated tire, and then this year we just launched the Mongrel in a 10-ply rated tire. We see them, see the cars getting heavier, faster, turbos, all this stuff on it, and people just driving that much harder and abuse the tires that much more. So we made the next step and jumped up to a 10-ply rated tire this year.
Awesome. Definitely going to be good stuff when Terracross kicks off here at Heydays. Other than that, Joe, what else is on tap? I know obviously big one, X Games coming. Your backyard, so that's got to be pretty darn exciting.
Yeah, it's been an exciting few months here. Wrapped up the Nitro World Games, and we have some guys actually from the Nitro World Games and from X Games that are coming to test for Terracross and possibly come and race with us. today, Bruce Cook is coming to ERX Motor Park and going to test drive our hand control car.
Nice.
Bruce Cook, X Games Nitro Circus athlete, and he's going to come test with us. We got Paul Thacker's monster rig out there, and he's going to come and try that thing out, and some other athletes from the X Games world. And then right after that, I was in Minneapolis for 3 days and got to be a part of the Summer X Games release that X Games is coming to my backyard after 20 years of running X Games. This year in Aspen will be my 20th year of running events, motorsports for ESPN X Games. And the cool thing is they're going to be 25 minutes from my house. And we helped kick the press release off and help bring some of our partners to the table. We got some other things in the works with them that will be released down the road, but really cool that they're at the new U.S. Bank Stadium, $1.1 billion stadium, and all indoors, so they don't have to worry about flooding and wind and rain and you name it. It's going to be pretty amazing. Concerts down on the islands, on the Mississippi River, all kinds of great activities within the city based around the X Games for 2017 and 2018, and just excited about it. It's a cool thing for the city, for the state, for the Midwest. X Games has never been in the Midwest. It's either been on the East Coast, the West Coast, or down south, and now we get it here in the Midwest. And I think they're going to be really surprised how many people are going to come. They've already just been super stoked about how friendly everybody in the city is. I mean, the mayor, the governor, the sports commission, and obviously they want to see the big event there. But more importantly, they're about what can we do to help the event out, not just about money, not just about what can you do for us. It was how do we work together to make this the best event, and you don't get that from a lot of places. So it's really cool to be a part of that and continue to grow with that and see where that goes. And who knows what the future might bring for all of us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I know Amy and I talked about it at length earlier. Both of us pumped on that. Appreciate you and Corey both calling into the show today, and looking forward to kicking Terracross off at Heydays, and we'll do it again next week, Joe.
That sounds great. Our press release on GDC Tires is out as of today. Please check it out. I think, Jim, you put all our press releases up. It's on terracrossracing.com. Or check out, Corey, what's your website?
gbcmotorsports.com is our one of our websites for all of our motorsports product.
All right.
Sounds perfect.
All right.
Thanks, Corey. Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Jimmy.
All right. Sounds good, my friend.
See you later.
All right. Thank you.
All right. We got to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Back after this.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? DirtFish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle. DirtFish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, DirtFish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, DirtFish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit DirtFish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from DirtFish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DirtFish Rally. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, and I don't know, we've talked a little bit about everything today, and I don't know, what should we talk about next, Houde? We got a 12-minute segment here, and you and I can talk just about anything we want for the next 12 minutes. So what's on your mind?
I don't know, man. I mean, there's so much on my mind. I haven't been doing a lot of motocross lately, as you probably know, but I have some cool things in the works that I just can't put myself in a tricky situation and, like fall over in a corner and sprain my finger. I can't take that chance right now. I might do some vintage riding tomorrow because I go a little bit slower on the vintage bikes. They're not as fast, but I don't know, man. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. We can talk a little pro motocross, I guess. I know you always antsy to talk about that. I know I think there's like 3 rounds left right now, and I got to give Eli Tomac a little bit of credit. Eli is man, he's swinging with Kenny Roczen lately.
Yeah, I mean, it's been such a different season now that Ryan Duncan's been out for a little bit, but I've been more stoked on the 250s. Austin Faulkner, the kid looks like he's 13 years old.
Right?
He looks like a little baby. He's so tiny, and he, came out and he won the first moto, and unfortunately he had a bad get-off in the second moto and went and finished 10th. But, I mean, dang, this is the kid's first year in his pro debut. Never went to Loretta's. So let me tell you a little bit about Austin Faulkner. His parents made him go to school. He couldn't do homeschooling, didn't travel all around to do all the nationals like most kids. He went and got an education. Smart kid, made the right steps and turning pro when he knew that he was ready. And I mean, and look what that did for him. You see people like Zach Bell, jumped into Supercross way too early, made a ton of mistakes, and I haven't really heard anything from Zach Bell in the last 2 years now. But, Austin Faulkner did it right, and I have to applaud the kids that put up with going to school and trying to have a motocross career. So, hats off to Austin Faulkner going to have, top of the box this weekend for at least one of the heats.
Yeah, and I got to say, I'm looking right now, like I've got the promotocross.com, like their site, and they've got like the rundown of class results and stuff like that, and 250s and 450s, and the picture of Austin Faulkner, like if I was him, I'd be pissed off. Like he looks like a third grader in the picture, and I don't know, like give the kid some credit. He's killing it on a dirt bike. Like at least get a legit shot of him. I mean, geez.
Photoshop a beard or mustache in there, something.
Like a little 5 o'clock shadow or something. No, and that's no knock on him because he's killing it. I just it's like hype him up a bit. Like it's I don't know. Here's a question.
He's a lot of hype on him, but he also, I like the way he goes about his, his business and who he is as a person and an athlete. He's extremely respectable. You don't hear any controversy or drama about Austin Faulkner. The kid is there. He shows up. He races. He's very well-mannered on the podium. He's a great speaker. I mean, he's not cocky like Cooper Webb or when Cooper Webb. When Cooper made his debut, I mean, I love the kid. He's awesome. Man, that kid was full of cockiness. And, you either loved Cooper Webb or you hated him. And with Austin Forkner, I mean, you can't not like him. He's such a great all-around athlete and an animal on the track. And he's paving the way to be the next Ricky Carmichael and Ryan Dungey. And everybody said he's going to be something big. I would love to see him, have a successful U.S. career and then go over to Europe and race the World Championships.
Yeah, I think he's one. I don't know if you've got in contact for him, but we ought to reach out. Like he'd be a fun guy to get on, I think, and just to chat. Because I haven't seen him do many interviews, period, on anybody's show or anything. He's kind of still at this point a little bit of an unknown, even though he's killing it.
Yeah, no, definitely. We totally steal some Paul Bemex and bring him on. I'd like to talk to him.
Yeah. Hey, that being said, Adam Cianciarulo seems like he's. What is going on there? Like a year ago, I mean, he was on top of the world. Like literally, he was a second coming. This kid was just gonna, he was just killing it. Had that injury, and like, is he still getting back into riding shape? I mean, obviously a 6th and a 7th, that's not horrible. And for most riders would be like, oh, that's pretty good, But for Adam, like, I guess I expect more. Like, I expect him on the top of the box every moto.
I know, and that's the unfortunate thing is there's been so much hype around Adam Cianciarulo, and it's like, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. And I think the kid is I think he's mentally getting ahead of himself, and it's like a big mental game. And you see every year there's been so much kind of coming into a season, and then the day before, the Supercross or Outdoor Series, the kid gets hurt, or the first round, or the first race, or something. He's just, I think he has so much pressure built up on him that, he hasn't been able to perform at what the industry expects him to. But I think a 6th and a 7th is good from where he has been. And he's been plagued with ongoing injuries, and he's always hurt, and he's never been able to make a full recovery. He'll have to take the whole series off to really do so. But, I like to see him there. I know he's capable of more, and I think it's just going to take a little bit of time for Adam to get back to where he needs to be. But I think he needs some time off. Like, I know he always has time off, but I think he needs to fully recover and come back 100% Adam, not, working with that 80 to 90%.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, he's definitely a top 5, talent. I just, I don't know. There's something, there's more to it than what we're seeing and hearing, I think.
You know what? I feel like Adam, and I never like to say this because loyalty is everything to me, but I feel like Adam needs to switch it up. He's been riding for Mid-Satan forever, and he's had the same results. I mean, it's either injury or maybe top 10 or just nobody sees anything of him. I think Adam needs to switch it up, ride blue, ride orange, whatever. I think he needs to make a drastic change to see that drastic change in his results. Really, I still think that's what needs to happen next. Like, what else can he do? He's, worked all winter to, come into Supercross with an injury and, don't know where he's been outdoors. It's just, he's got to make a change.
Yeah,
I'd be the best thing for him.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's it's time. Sometimes you just need a change. You just need to do it and see what happens. We've seen lots of guys with success that have made the change. Shoot, look at Ken Roxon. He's on KTM and one of the greatest rides ever. Switches things up, and everybody thought it was the worst decision in the world. But look at what he's doing now. It's obviously working for him.
People didn't realize that Ken Roxon started his career in Suzuki's. He was the European golden boy, riding for that Taika Suzuki, I believe it was, or whatever, that factory Suzuki team over in the World Championships, and that's where, he made his mark in his debut, and probably the bike that he was ultimately most comfortable on. And, sometimes you have to go back to your roots to really, be able to find yourself as a rider. And, it's sometimes not about the team, but it's about the bike. And yeah, it clearly shows, Ken has been able to put it together, and he's had such a successful outdoor series. And it's really too bad about Ryan Dungey because I think they would have had some great battles in it. It would have been one of the most interesting outdoor series. I think going outdoors from Supercross, they were both on par. Ryan Dungey was dominant in Supercross, and it took Ken the whole series to really be able to pressure him near those last couple rounds. But coming to outdoors, that's where Ken succeeds. That's his comfy spot, And so it was going to be such an exciting series. It's really too bad. But yes, it makes guys like Eli Tomac really have to step up to the plate, and he has. And it's been quite a good series, I think, for sure. It's been really interesting, but probably the most excitement has been with the factory Yamaha team with, between Cooper Webb, Alex Martin, and Jeremy Martin. Every weekend, all three of them have pretty much been on the podium, exchanging for second and thirds. Wow, that team must be doing so good. And it's funny because I remember when they first came to, everyone kind of thought they were a joke. They were a satellite team, and, they didn't have a lot of money. They, they had all these young guns too, and wow, look at what they've been able to do in 2 years alone. It's pretty cool to see that Star Racing Yamaha team really succeed and be the top players in 250 class. It'd be really cool for them to get a 450 rider, I think.
Yeah. So we got 30 seconds left. I want your opinion.
No.
James, well, just in this segment, but James Stewart, he's just struggling. Is it time for him to hang it up?
Now. He's a new daddy. Just give him time. I think he's going to, having a baby is going to revamp his whole career, kind of like Christian Craig. He's doing it for his son, and I think we'll see a whole new James Stewart come 2017 Supercross. For sure.
I think it's going to re-energize him. I think we're going to see his brother, and things are really going to pop. They'll be competing against each other. But we got to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We'll be back after this break with my good friend Ryan Millen. So hang tight.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at MTX.com.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line, my good friend Ryan Millen. How's everything going, Ryan?
Good. How are you doing, Jim?
I am doing good, buddy. I got to tell you, you are, man, you're like from one end of North America to the other. You go from Maine to Cabo. Where you at now?
Ooh. I'm in Huntington at the moment. I just dropped off a second rally RAV4 at Toyota.
Nice. Speaking, I don't know. It's I don't know. This has been a long time coming. We got a ton to talk about. But first off, let's talk about this program because, I mean, you know, everybody knows the Millen family, and you know, between you know, your dad and, I mean, you got Reese and yourself. I mean, you guys have been everywhere and done just about everything. But how did this Toyota program and this RAV4 and rally, because it's a kind of an out of the box rally car, when you know, how did this whole thing get put together?
Yeah, thanks, Jim. My family definitely has a lot of racing history, and I'm really lucky to have, you know, experience from Reese, experience from my dad, and I'm really stoked to follow in their footsteps. But to answer your original question, it kind of started out after the 2014 Baja 1000. I was involved with Andy Bell and Jamie Bestwick. We raced a stock full Tundra, won our class, and we were kind of like carrying over that idea of racing production vehicles and leaving them stock, and kind of searching for that next kind of challenge for the next kind of vehicle. And RAV4 kind of seemed like a way oddball vehicle, and kind of thought it would work, and kind of did a test year last year to see if we'd be competitive, and everything's worked out really well so far. So, you know, some of these programs kind of start small and they build, and, you know, with success you can build them bigger and bigger, and we're just lucky to be doing it, sort of thing. Yeah, well, and that being said, I mean, I got to, you know, for those of you listeners that aren't super familiar with the Rally America series, you know, obviously I travel around and do, you know, kind of Rally America radio and some stuff for them. But Ryan's driving a RAV4 in the two-wheel drive class in Rally America. And it's not it's not your traditional rally car, first off. But second of all, when he says stock, I mean, we're talking stock. This thing's still got like an automatic transmission, stock brakes. And to Ryan's credit, he's doing battle with these turbocharged cars with sequential gearboxes and everything else. And I mean, you know, you're putting up competitive stage times. You're winning events. I mean, dude, you are driving the wheels off this RAV4. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, you know, I mean, what's kind of cool about rallying is it can kind of come down to a lot of different factors. There's the performance side that, you know, we've got a really reliable vehicle, and kind of lets Christina and I, you know, drive it as hard as we can, and you know, it just kind of builds that trust and that experience. And each rally we just get faster and faster instead of dealing with, you know, technical gremlins or anything like that. We're just focusing on our driving aspect, and it's an automatic, so all I have is two pedals to think about. And there's, you know, there's disadvantages, and then there's advantages of the RAV4. So he's like, yeah, we're bigger, we're heavier. We do only have 176 horsepower. We do have a 6-speed automatic transmission. But having said all that, we have a ton of wheel travel. So, like, you know, when the roads get pretty rough, we've got like 9 inches of wheel travel in the front and about 11 in the rear. So, you know, we can kind of pick up time in certain areas. If the corner's got some, like, you know, Maine had huge stones, and sorry, that was Texas. And it's a full rally. There's a trade-off side of it. It's not necessarily has to be performance-based. And it's not road racing where you're fighting for tenths. You know, there's so many more elements that come into it. But racing in snow and gravel and mud and dust and sand, and it's like it's just everything. And it kind of shows the vehicle's ability, which is so cool.
Yeah. Well, and one of the cool things I've thought about, that I see is the program is I know this thing started last year and you were just doing some kind of a mix of different rallies. And then this year it's full blown, you're running for the national championship with Rally America, but there's not a lot of times we see full-blown manufacturer support in stage rally in the U.S. I mean, obviously Subaru has had a big presence there. They've been there for a long time, and they roll out the red carpet. But even here at New England, I mean, Toyota, you guys had, a rig there. You had, they were doing hospitality for fans and, the virtual reality ride with Ryan experience. It's we just don't see that in stage rally. I mean, they're in with 2 feet.
Yeah, it's neat to see them doing that activation as well, because that really kind of brings the whole value in. If you're out on the people that come out, the fans that come out to these rallies are kind of they're very adventurous people. So sometimes it's helpful to have waters and that sort of stuff out there. And I know they're trying to work on maybe getting some Wi-Fi at events, and and it helps. It helps with the whole program if people are seeing Toyota's involvement and getting the virtual reality stuff. And it's building and building, and it's neat to work with a company like Toyota that knows what they're doing when it comes to marketing and has an experience. And I'm kind of along for the ride, and I get to learn the whole time. And for me, I love learning, so it's cool to be involved.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of cool. Just in the past, year, it seems like 2 years, they've really, Toyota's gone back to the dirt sports. I mean, obviously, your family is a long relationship with Toyota, and to me, in the past, you think Toyota and you think dirt sports, and it's the Millans and it's Ivan Stewart. And and in the past, in the past year or two, obviously now we've got the whole Toyota program going on at World Rally Championship debuting in 2017. They've been with the Greaves for a while and Torque, but now all of a sudden they jump in with BJ Baldwin. Now they've got you with the stage rally program. To me, it's like I see Toyota kind of going back to their roots where we saw in the early '80s. And I think that's kind of cool. That they're they're in NASCAR and they're all over the place, but now they're back in dirt sports, and I think that's that they're still those lifelong Toyota fans, and and it's stuff that your family and Ivan did way back in the day that got them into the Toyota brand, and I feel like they're going back to that now.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes to Akio Toyota's, who's the global president and third generation Toyota. He wants to see us all building this enthusiasm for the vehicles. He wants to see us, building better cars. He calls it, building ever better cars. So you see that in the fabric of Toyota. You're seeing that push to try to make exciting products and try to understand, how to make the products better, how to make them more exciting. Like, for example, next week I'm heading up to DirtFish, and I'll spend a couple of days there with the chief engineer of RAV4, and we're talking about, where can RAV4 go? How can we make exciting products, and how can we make things that people want to buy?
When are you at DirtFish next week? When are you at DirtFish next week?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I'm there Wednesday through Saturday.
Okay, cool. Then I'll catch you on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to catch up. Yeah, I'm there Wednesday through Saturday. So, no, it's cool to know you're going to be up there. I'll be there right, I guess, at the tail end of your thing. We'll have to catch up.
Cool. Yeah. I've never been to DirtFish, so I'm excited. I've heard a lot of great things, and I'm really excited.
Yeah. So, talking to all this, I got to ask you, we got to kind of step away and go back to Rally America, because I was telling Amy about this, and she was, I know she's been kind of quiet, just taking this all in right now, but I had sent in a message. I said, one of the cool things about Ryan's program, I said, is his co-driver is his fiance. And I know Amy was like,
I mean, talk about that. That must make things a little interesting when you go back home after a race.
Yeah, Christina and I have a really strong relationship. So, we're traveling all year round together and racing and working together. And she does all the logistics and kind of the planning, and she's kind of almost team manager type thing. It's that we talk about it a little bit, and I know a lot of other people talk about their relationship with drivers and co-drivers, and it's kind of like a marriage. So, we got engaged last year at Pikes Peak. we're going to get married this year at the same weekend as the Baja 1000. So I'm going to have to haul ass back after that. But, yeah, you just build this, you know, you have this relationship and this trust and this bond with this other person, and that's just, it's such a critical part of rallying. And she does such a great job. She's to the point that I have to trust her solely. And she makes adjustments in how she calls the notes, and she's speeding up and being clear through certain areas, or she's thinking about what I'm doing. And like at this last rally, I struggle a little bit reading the roads. I'll go back to my desert background where I try and read the terrain, and I don't listen to the notes that she's telling me, but I go back to just kind of reading the road. And she's figured out a way that is clear for me to understand, and it was like a huge help. So there's things that they're doing in that passenger seat that are like critical that I don't think a lot of people realize. You know, a navigator in some sense is like a goalie in hockey. They can't win the game, they can't score any goals, but they certainly can lose it, sort of thing. So yeah, that's probably one of my favorite parts about rallying is the navigator dynamics and just the teamwork between the two of us. The service crew is moving around all weekend, and they have to be in the right spot. And, you know, I know the fans. As a kid, I followed my dad through rallying, so I always enjoyed the chasing around and catching different stages. And so it's kind of fun. It's like you're out in the elements all day and packing lunches and in the woods. It's just a fun sport.
Yeah, rally, you know, and that's what's funny about stage rally, because I know Amy, she's going to go down to Ojibwe because that's only like a 2-hour drive from her place in Winnipeg.
Oh, cool.
You know, a couple-hour drive, but you know, I was telling her it's not one of those like, you know, stage rally is an adventure sport. You know, you got to like to go out in the woods and adventure and hike through the forest. You know what I mean, to find a spot. Yeah. You know, it's not one of those for somebody that wants to sit in a chair and be able to walk to the concession stand behind them. 10 feet back. It's totally a different fan base.
Yeah, exactly. You need a vehicle that can get you to these remote locations, and it's special. It's just different than any other. You know, it's a little like desert racing in the sense if you're spectating that, but the cool part is you can see us a few times.
Yeah.
Instead of just seeing, a truck go by sort of thing, and then the next truck, and you'll actually be able to follow the rally, and you can. I'd say one of my coolest experiences I ever had. It was probably like 10, 15 years ago. I went to a World Rally Championship event in New Zealand. And, you know, we all drive on the major roads, major highways, and I was cruising out between stages, and I saw Marcus Grunholm on the side of the road rotating his tires. And, you know, at the time, he was like the Michael Schumacher of rallying.
Yeah.
And I stopped, and I'm like, hey, how are you? How's your rally going? And, you know, these guys talk to you, and, they're far more accessible rally drivers than some of your circuit racers and that sort of stuff. So I think that's so cool about rallying.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting. Yeah, I've never really thought about it that way, but you're right. You know, and even you look at guys, you know, that would be the bigger names in stage rally in the U.S. I mean, Pastrana and Higgins, and you know, you see them and they're out amongst the fans, and you know, it's there's just total 100% access, you know, and you don't get that. You know, there's not big barricades separating people and things like that. You know.
No, not at all. Yeah, it's a special sport, and I really enjoy the fans we get to interact with too, and it's just different. So it's cool to come from being a bit of a fan when I was younger to being able to do it now and see it, and you're totally right. Like guys like Travis Pastrana are so cool and so friendly, and you can even I'm still intimidated by him, sort of thing. They go, hey, how's it going? But it's accessible, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. So what's up next for you? Obviously, you're running you're neck and neck with Cameron Steele for the two-wheel drive championship in Rally America. But other than that, I know you're doing a little desert racing. What's on tap for you the next couple of months?
So we've got a few more rallies we're going to do. We've got Ojibwe, we've got LSCR, the big ones, and then I think we're going to do a couple of NASA events, those little test events. We might do Prescott. And I think we might do the last NASA national round in New York. And then got the Baja 1000 at the end of the year in the Spec Trophy truck with Javier Quiros, which we did together in the Mint 400. It's a Tacoma with a Tundra engine. So looking forward to that. But that's about the end of the year, so it's crazy. I'm blown away that we're, halfway through the year, and I'm
crazy.
Like, where did it go? How did we do all these events so far? And it's like, yeah, it's been a little nuts. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I'm already talking with sponsors, about 2017 and 2018, and I'm going, like, didn't we just put together our deals for 2016? Like you said, it's like weird that we're already in almost kind of the silly season, and you and I, guys that hunt sponsor dollars and things like that. It's just so weird to me. Like you said, where the heck did the year go?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's that time of year when you start talking about the next years, and it's a stressful time of year.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do we have a job next year or not?
Yeah. But it's good though. I thoroughly enjoy the pressure. I strive off that. I like the tight schedules. I like to travel, and I actually find myself, oddly enough, I realized this recently. I think this year I've spent half the year away from home. But I find myself sleeping better in hotel rooms than I do at home. So as odd as that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a stressful time of year, and that's the challenging part about racing. It's from looking on the outside, it looks like we all get to race, the whole year. We got helmets and gloves on all the time, and it's surprising how much of it is work. It's logistics and planning and testing and development and building cars and prepping cars, and so much goes into it, and it's really rewarding when you can get to that point and having the battles like I had last weekend or 2 weekends ago with Cameron Steele are so rewarding. I mean, these are those like memories that you're paving for your future, and you look back and you think about it, and it's just too much fun.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Ryan. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in today, and we'll definitely have to do it more often, my friend.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. Catch you on Wednesday at DirtFish.
All right, sounds good. We'll catch up with you. I'll shoot you a text and let you know when I fly in.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, have fun down there, you two.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, we got to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Amy Houde and I are wrapping things up after this.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris RZR XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? DirtFish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at DirtFish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Houde here, wrapping things up. Just got done with Ryan Millen, had Chase Briscoe, man, Joe Duncan. We've talked some X Games, talked some Polaris RZRs and motocross, and I don't know, we've pretty much hit everything today, I think, Houde.
We covered it all. Ryan Millen was awesome. We got to get him back on again. He's a great speaker, speaks really well of the sport. Like, I really want to try that rally. You have no idea. It just seems like something I would it would be right up my alley.
Yeah, you'll have a ton of fun there at Ojibwe, and they've got they cap it off they literally block off the streets of Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, and they race the cars through the middle of town, and it's just a big party down there, and it's awesome. So
there's one really beautiful hotel in Detroit Lakes. It's kind of right on one of the lakes, and I remember I drive through there pretty often to go to Staples, Minnesota. There's a motocross track, but yeah, there's a hotel, and I know it's on the right-hand side of the road, and I've always wanted to stay there.
Yeah. So, no, it's definitely fun. I'm looking forward to getting you out of one because, I've been talking about it for 2 years, working with a series and everything else. So, I don't know, we'll get you out there, and we're going to throw a mic in your hand and make you go to work.
Yeah, put me a radio headset on, and I'll go do some commentary in the car because that would be fun.
Yeah, no, we got to get Ryan and his fiancée Christina on at the same time. I've had the opportunity to interview Christina, and she's awesome. And there's totally such a unique dynamic there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know for sure.
So, all right. Well, we got motocross coming up, Red Bull GRC, Torque, Vegas to Reno. World Rally Vegas Championship. Yeah, Vegas to Reno coming up. DirtFish Rally School. I'll be up there here in a couple of weeks, so looking forward to that. Make sure and give Amy Houde a follow at AmyHoude71. Me, it's at JimBeaver15 on Instagram and Twitter. And then Facebook, back episodes at downanddirtyshow.com. Thanks to all of you subscribing on iTunes. We cracked the top 10 on sports shows, so I'm super pumped on that. So thanks to all of you. Keep subscribing. Give us those reviews there that you can. We haven't pushed that much, but I guess we got 20 now, so keep pushing those. But appreciate it. And I don't know, you got anything to leave everybody with, Amy?
No, just have a safe, fun week, you guys. And, can it just be 2017 already so I can go to X Games?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I don't know. I haven't heard one person bummed about that announcement, So I think everybody's looking forward to going to Minnesota. I know I am. And we will see all of you next week here again on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Yeah.